and welcome back to another trading recap video. So today it's Wednesday the 7th, and I'm gonna have to catch up because yesterday I got busy. So today is gonna be a two recap day in one. So today I'm gonna be going over the few trades that I took yesterday on ISEE. Now yesterday the stocks were pretty limited as far as gappers go, as far as momentum stocks. And ISEE was the one that I was paying the most attention to. We had a few nice opportunities yesterday on SHPH. We had this move from $18 all the way to $30.95. And in there were a couple of halts, but I didn't really like it. We did have some good increasing volume here, but yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. The volume was a little bit lighter. It's recent IPO, kind of dead cat bounce pattern. Anyway, I didn't end up trading it. So the majority, like I said, of the trades that I took were on ISEE. Now on Tuesday, yesterday, I lost $18 on the day, taking basically, I think I took 4 kind of scratch trades on ISEE. And then there's going to be a few clips from the live stream that I'm going to pull in that I went back and looked at, and there's trades that I've been talking about wanting to take and that have been setting up in this market in these conditions recently. And there was a couple of them on ISEE that I definitely missed. Let's discuss those really quick. So, first trade that I missed. Right, basically, I think it was 5 minutes after the opening bell here. I'm scanning around looking for stocks. Looking of the watch list stocks that I had put on there that were gapped up. And then ISEE. Oh, let's find the spot here. So right here. So recently, what I've been looking for is breakouts have been a little bit tricky, and looking for like candles to make a new high have been tricky and a bit inconsistent. So what I've been looking for is candles to make a new high of, when they break over significant levels by a decent amount. I want to see more than just a cent or two breakout. I want to see just more than a quick flash on the ask. I want to actually see the break by a few cents. And then if we can pull back into that previous resistance, that's where I want to be a buyer to see if that's going to hold strong for the retest. And it's been a trade that I've been trying to dial in on. And looking back on Tuesday's trades, Tuesday's action, I missed some opportunity. So right here, looking at this chart, 5 minute, it was a little bit wacky. We pulled back quite a bit pre-market right here, but then we made a really nice red to green. The open sold off, and again, nice red to green. Over VWAP, and this candle here, I was looking for the first candle make a new high. It dips down, and I was like, well, I was hoping it was going to hold this previous candle's high. It dips down, but here's what I want to pay attention to. We're at the whole dollar too. 80s, 90s, and it doesn't just go to 1305, 1306. It breaks over by 10 cents really quickly. So there's 320, 323, and then it's going to sell, pull back right into the previous high of this candle, right around the whole dollar. So if we look back here, there's 1308 on the bids, 1309, and it's holding, right? So I want to be in on the initial retest. Pull back right there. So I maybe we get an entry at 1309, 1310, maybe 1311. And there's 1320, and it's holding strong. There's 1325. And if you look on the bids, they go up by a couple ticks, come back, and it gets bought up. Go back a few ticks, pull back, and it gets bought up. Now we're at 35. And I could be taking profit, could be selling half, and that would be a 25-cent winner right there. 30-cent winner. And then this proceeds to doing another quick little pullback here, which this trade I'm okay leaving on the table because this has not been a hot trade right now. Looking for the micro pullbacks off of a strong green candle on the first 1 minute candle to pull back has not been a consistent trade, so I'm okay leaving that one on the table. Now the other thing was right over here. So one thing that I want to discuss that I've been wanting to be careful about is right here where we have this. Yeah, so this is the tricky thing. So we have this flat top right here. Let me pause it at 1385. So we have 4 1-minute candles. Goes up to the resistance, can't hit it. Goes up to the resistance again. pulls back, pulls back, pulls back. Now on this fifth candle, I was looking for the first 1 minute candle making new high, but the trade that I was just talking about. So waiting for the candle making new high in a significant fashion, more than just a couple of cents, and then pulling back to that previous level for me to be a buyer. So if we look at that here, candle opens, and right away it's going to push and make a new high. But look how quick that flash was. There's 83, there's 85 in the bids, 86, 86, and back down to 83, just like that. And so immediately I'm like, wow, that's not good. I want to see more clean break. Then it holds this level, and this is where I need to be a buyer. And then there's the break. That's what I was looking for first. There's 90, and then it pulls back right there. Man, 1384. It breaks over. There's 90. It breaks over by about 10 cents quickly. That's what I was looking for. So into that entry, there's 14. Pulls back down, and there was the entry at 90. It's holding, holding, and now it's at 14. Could be taking a little bit of profit right there, or potentially holding to see if we get the next move higher towards high of day at 14.16, because now it's that whole dollar. And there's 14.18. Pulls back to 14.10. That was another potential entry right there, but then looking at it, I thought to myself right away, after, when I was looking at 5 minutes after this trade happened, or I missed, I was like, man, I should have been a buyer off of this when it broke new highs, pulled back into the whole dollar. But looking at it now in hindsight, I'm thinking to myself, well, it just made a big leg up on this candle. It's up almost 40 cents. So do I really want to be buying in on the pullback, especially with these 3 wicks right in this area? I could be buying into false breakout territory. So that's a trade that I'm okay leaving on the table. And I think this one ended up failing anyway. Yep, 14 failed. Then the biggest move on this, I'm going to miss. So this was tricky here. So candle making new high, looking for another leg up, ended up being strong, but it didn't give that pullback. So that was a very quick move. This one you had to be very fast on. This one you had to be buying the candle making new high. So maybe it's worth mentioning, if you're buying the candle making new high, maybe try the anticipatory break, and then give it a little bit longer hold time to see if it's going to curl. So yeah, that one was a very quick break, and now we're into these pre-market levels. So here's the thing. After it broke out here, I didn't take any trades on it. I'm getting kind of frustrated at this point because I took one trade on it. I guess that's worth mentioning while I have it paused here, is right in this area here, I tried taking my first trade on it, where we broke past 14. We hit about 14.16, pulled back into the whole dollar, and I wanted to buy to see for the retest of the whole dollar, similarly to what I was talking about here. But same kind of reasoning why I'm okay avoiding this trade here, and why I should be avoiding this trade here, right here, in this candle. It's not the market for it. We have a big green candle and the pullback at the top, and I'm buying basically the top of that, within the upper 20% of the move of the candle. So I'm not letting it, pull back enough. So yeah, that was the trade that I took there, and it ended up being just a small loser. It was like 10. Like I said, my P&L on the day was minus $18. So it was just a few scratch trades here, a couple red, a couple green. And they were very insignificant. So I just have brought to attention the spots from the price action on ISEE on the day that I want to be more dialed in on. So after this big move, we broke through highs. These lines that I have marked here at 1432 and like about 1423 are pre-market levels, pre-market pivot levels. And I thought, well, we bounced off that. We now have a double top at high of day, which was 1430. And we basically did a false breakout. So I'm like, well, that's not good. So at this point, I'm getting a little frustrated. Want to stretch my legs and grab a little glass of water after I started pulling back here. Well, I guess I gave it a second. So yeah, there it is. I left. And right as I'm leaving, it starts to curl back up. And this is another similar thing to what I've been talking about, where I want to be more conscious of, is looking for spots that seem like they're breaking levels and looking to be a buyer on those quick flashes, because there's 2 spots right here that would have worked. So we have this pivot level right here, flashed down, and it got bought up, and right here where we flashed down and it got bought up. It's been an interesting trend that I've been noticing recently. And then this is going to be where the brunt of the trades that I missed. I mean, these were textbook to what I was just explaining in the earlier part of the video. So right here, it starts curling up. New candle opens. High of the previous candle, I think, was at 1410. We break out by 5 to 10. I think it was like 6 cents right there, which is a significant enough amount that I'm interested. And then we pull back right into the high of the previous candle, the 410. Boom, enter. It's holding strong. Didn't go below, like went below 410 for about a second. Now it's at this pre-market pivot level. Pulls back. There's another entry. Michael pulled back at 414. Now we're at the double top. Pulls back. It's still holding. There's another entry at 1420. And it's holding. And you're not stopping out because it's not breaking below. The bids are holding very strong at 1425, and there's a snap up to 1450. So you potentially had to move from 1405 to 1450. Granted, if I was in this trade, I would have been taking profit. If I was in this trade from the first pullback, I probably would have been taking profit in this area here, so it wouldn't have been as big of a winner of taking it all the way from 14 to 1450. But case in point, I missed some really nice trades on this because I got frustrated and I walked away. But it is what it is. So going forward, there's a few things on that I'm going to have to do better on. But that's going to be the recap today. There wasn't really any other stocks that were worth mentioning yesterday other than, well, I guess I covered SHPC just a little bit, or SHPH rather. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up from here, down 18 bucks on the day. And I'll be back with another recap video, back with another stream. Trade safe. Later.